TWF Friday Night Smackdown. I am Michael Cole, here with Trini Kwan and with Wade Barrett. And today on And today on Friday Night Smackdown, hold on. Alright. Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday Night Smackdown. I am Michael Cole, here with Trini Kwan and with Wade Barrett. And today on Friday Night Smackdown, we're going to see the TWF women's team winnings on the line. When the Wounded led, or the Wounded run, Io Shirai and Angelina Love have another match with Ember Moon and Madison Rayne, Michael Cole said. You're right, Trini Kwan said. Bayley and her wounded run, who are the TWF women team fighters. And Bayley and Io Shirai and Angelina Love hope to have run-in lead over the TWF women's team. Well, I tell you one thing, Wade Barrett said. They already have run-in lead over the TWF women's team by winning the TWF women's team winnings, Wade Barrett says. So let's go. Alright. Well, here is Io Shirai or Io Sky, whatever you want to call her, Michael Cole says. I don't really think there's much of an unlikeness between the two. Well, the only unlikeness I can come up with, Trini Kwan said, is one was good, one was bad, one was on NXT, one is now on Raw now. It's the only thing I can come up with. So, ding dong, it's the Wounded led, or the Wounded run. And we have run in lead over the TWF women's team, do we not? So the way I look at it is that sooner or later, I'm going to be the TWF women's heavyweight fighter. So what does everyone think of that? Who cares? I don't really care what any of you folks out there thought of me. And I got Io Shirai, or Io Sky, whatever you want to call her. I got Angelina Love over here, which we are the Wounded led, or the Wounded run. And, what else are we going to say, Bayley says. What needs to be said, Angelina Love says. We kept our word since the end of 7th month. We were going to have run-in lead over the TWF women's team, and we did that. We kept our word. And sadly, folks like Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss learned the hard way. Sad looks like Ember Moon and Madison Rayne will learn the hard way too, said Angelina Love. The way I look at it, Io Shirai says, the way I look at it is I truly think that we're going to have run-in lead over everyone in the TWF, or at least in the women's team. I mean, the guessing day's doing that for the men, right? But sooner or later, Bianca Belair will fall, like Asuka, like Alexa Bliss. Soon Ember Moon and Madison Rayne will be losing too, said Io Shirai. Well, guess what, Michael Cole says. Here's Ember Moon. Or I guess you'd call her Athena now, but here's Ember Moon. And here's Madison Rayne. Look, you two think you got running lead over all of us? Is that what you believe? Madison Rayne goes. I mean, I saw the shitty things you did. I saw what you did to Asuka. I saw what you did to Alexa Bliss, putting them out. saying that you taking with that, doing that to them, and then thinking you're gonna get on look. Madison Rain goes, I'll tell you what, Ember Moon says. You talk about how it's your time, you want everyone's steads, you want on look, you behave as if everyone, as you were the only free folks that ever was booked and written, that everyone else, that everyone else didn't work hard, everybody else was just giving it to you. Oh, but you free worked hard. But you were overlooked. You're playing that bullshit up, saying you're overlooked. Let's talk about you, Bailey, since you seem to behave as if you were overlooked. How the fuck were you overlooked? You came in at WWE. You were what? The WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter? Held that for a long time. Lost that to Asuka. You went from NXT to Raw. You won the WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight winnings. I wouldn't say you were overlooked at all. Then you went to Smackdown, became a two-time WWE Smackdown Women's Heavyweight Fighter, on top of being a two-time WWE Women's Team Fighter. Then when you went from Smackdown back to Raw, so at the end of the day, you were not overlooked. Bullshit. Let's talk about it. Ember Moon goes, that's bullshit and you know it. You weren't overlooked. As far as Angelina Love and Io Shirai go, I don't think any of them were overlooked too. Io Shirai, former WNXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter, former WNXT Women's Team Fighter when she was on NXT, went to Raw, became WWE Women's Team Fighter, not overlooked. Master Rain said, Angelina Love, you seem to think you were overlooked? What, 5-time IW Women's Heavyweight Fighter? I don't really think you were overlooked at all. Today, we're going to take those winnings off of you. Then we're going to have on look, because they're going to be worn by women who have on look. Not by you folks. Not at all. Well, one of the times Michael Cole says that one of those times Michael Cole said where Bailey has been speechless, had nothing to say, you know. Most of it, yeah, a lot of times Trini Kwan said she has a comeback, but I guess all of that must have been true or she wouldn't have said anything. Oh, I don't know, Trini Kwan says. Well, I don't know, give her some time, Wade Barrett said, and she'll come back with some comeback. You know she will. Bailey's always good with the comeback. This is for the TWF Women's Team Fighting. For the TWF Women's Team winnings. First, they were Ember Moon and Madison Rain. And they are the TWF Women's Team Fighters, Io Shirai and Angelina Love. Ding ding ding. Well, who's gonna go first? Well, I'm guessing it's gonna be Ember Moon going first with Angelina Love, who behaves as if she was overlooked. Michael Cole said, "Sorry for clearing my throat, but it always tends to happen when we do films." Ember Moon right now, picking up former NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter, former WWE NXT Women's Team Fighter. Was Ember Moon overlooked at all? When she went from NXT to Raw to Smackdown, things didn't quite go right. When she went back to NXT, things worked right. Would you say she was overlooked? Michael Cole says, 1, 2, and a kick out. Are you talking to me? Trini Kwan said, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't think that Ember Moon was overlooked at all. I just say her time on Raw and SmackDown weren't good. But I didn't say she was overlooked, Trini Kwan said. Ember Moon coming down on Angelina Love, Michael Cole says. And Ember Moon taking care of Angelina Love, the former 5-time IW Women's Heavyweight Fighter. She's in a bind right now, Michael Cole said. Oh, she'll get out of it. I know Angelina Love. She'll get out of that bind she was in, Wade Barrett says. Oh, And Angelina and Ember Moon right now. Not. Oh, she'll get out of that bind. Oh. See, Wade Barrett says she got out of that bind that she was in. And I would say she was overlooked. I mean, yeah, she won they won the IW Women's Heavyweight Innings 5 times. She may have been a 4 or 5 time IW TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter too, but that was it. She was overlooked, Wade Barrett says, unlike all the other ones out there. Well, now Angelina Love has now brought in Io Sarai, or Io Sky now, Wade Barrett says. This should be fun. Call her what you want to call her, Io Sarai, Io Sky, it's all the same, Michael Cole says. Someone who thinks she was overlooked, someone who thinks she should be given everything. And Ember Moon just brought in Madison Rayne, who took down Ember Moon, taking down Io Sarai right now for body slam. And what kind of TWF women team fighters would Ember Moon and Madison Rayne make if they would win them? Michael Cole said, I don't know, Trini Kwan said, because the truth is I haven't won them yet. But I would guess they'd be good ones. Bailey, oh! Bailey just knocked down Madison Rayne. And Ember Moon doing the moonsaw. Wait a minute, that's going to bring Ember Moon over. Ember Moon just came in and did the Eclipse. Wait. Ember Moon came in and did the Eclipse to Angelina Love. And just threw her out of the ring. But the harm has already been done, Michael Cole says. Yes, Angelina Love and Io Sarai are going to still be the TWF women team fighters. Wade Barrett says 1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here is your winners, and still the TWF women's team fighters. Io Sarai and Angelina Love. Well, sadly, Michael Cole says Ember Moon and Ember Moon and Madison Rayne could not beat the team of Io Sarai and Angelina Love. That was truly sad. And now the Fight Lord just fell down by mistake. Michael Cole says he could be drunk. Yeah, Wade Barrett said he could be drunk. Who knows why he fell down? You know? No one knows why he's drunk. He could have been drunk. That way he fell down, Wade Barrett says. But anyway, Io Sarai, Angelina Love are still the TWF women team fighters. Long live Wounded Lead. Long live Wounded Lead. Long live Wounded Run. Wade Barrett says, oh yeah. Trini Kwan said, give them on look when they don't give anyone on look. To get on look, you gotta give on look, Trini Kwan says. And until you do, you won't get no on look. Well, that's right. You're right about that, Trini Kwan. You gotta give on look to get on look, Michael Cole said. Until you do that, you won't get no on look. Oh, when you're the Wounded Lead, or when you are teams like that, you don't need anyone's on look, Wade Barrett says. Not at all. Well, I understand now that Gene Okerlund now, Michael Cole said, is going to be talking with Wounded Lead or Wounded Run. That's right, Michael Cole. I'm going to be talking with Wounded Lead or Wounded Run, Bailey, Io Sarai, and Angelina Love. Well, Bailey, you must be happy with your followers or your teammates or whatever they are, and Io Sarai and Angelina Love. Yeah, Gene Okerlund, I am truly happy with them. Once again, we've shown that Wounded Lead or Wounded Run has run in lead over all the TWF women. No need they be from IW or WWE or AEW. We got running lead over all of them. And I can tell you something. Sooner or later, I will be the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. On top of being a two-time TWF Light Heavyweight Fighter, two-time WWE Smackdown Women's Heavyweight Fighter, one-time WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight Fighter, and one-time WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter. I'll win that again, too. Well, Bailey, you've done a lot of things, but it is true that you behave as if you were overlooked. I was overlooked, Gene Okerlund, many times. When I was on NXT, when I was on Raw, when I was on SmackDown, and Raw again, I was overlooked. Yeah, we were overlooked. We didn't win as many times as, let's say, Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss did. We didn't get as many matches as they did. And you might say that I was a former five-time IW Women's Heavyweight Fighter, five-time TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, but I didn't win it as many times as they did, you know. I was overlooked. And the only thing I ever won was being the WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter, WWE NXT Women's Team Fighter, WWE Women's Team Fighter. Don't forget about the TF Women's Team Fighter. But I was overlooked. We were all overlooked. And now we're getting even. We never got any on look, so we're not going to give any on look. Well, that's my talk with the Wounded Lead, Bailey, Angelina Love, and Io Sarai. Back to you, Michael Cole. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Wounded Lead here today on Friday Night SmackDown. And it looks like it is all the time we got here for Friday Night SmackDown. I am Michael Cole. For Trini Kwan and Wade Barrett, we hope you like Friday Night SmackDown, and we'll see you tomorrow for Rampage or Ramfru.